So, is Kathleen Kennedy going or not? Well, Deadline seems to have got an exclusive, and they're framing it as, no, she's not going anywhere. But right at the end of the interview, she is asked outright whether she is going this year, and she categorically says, I don't know. Here it is. 2 final questions. Will you step out as Lucasfilm boss this year? We really don't know at this stage. There's so much going on, Mike. I don't know. So, we're going to take a look at this new piece of information about Kathleen Kennedy. It's from her. She's the one saying it, and it's supposed to debunk everything, and it doesn't. It actually doesn't, because she's asked outright if she's leaving this year, and she literally says, I don't know. Well done. Well done. She says, I'm not retiring. Caveat. Not retiring from movies is what she says. So, this has been blown way out of proportion. Everyone's like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's debunked everyone. No, she actually hasn't. In fact, she's added more. She's given further credence and truth to what's come out previously. So, we're going to take a look at this. Please do hit subscribe, especially if you're a returning viewer that's not yet subscribed. It'd be good to have you here more often, because I'm sure, you know, you're going to get a barrage of videos based on this. But just say straight from the off, you've at least got the lowdown straight away. So, yeah, hit subscribe. Anyway, let's take a look, shall we? This is an article over on Deadline, right? And it says, Kathleen Kennedy speaks on her Lucasfilm plans. She is not soon retiring from movies. Doesn't mean from Lucasfilm, which was the whole point. That was the entire premise of the rumor that was coming out. And the films that will keep her in Star Wars orbit for years to come. Doesn't say for years to come. She literally says, do you see how Deadline have screwed their headline right there? At the end of their own interview, she says, I don't know if I'm retiring this year from Lucasfilm. So just as an FYI, Deadline are talking pure bollocks. And they actually, there's this big opener here. Where this guy, Mike Fleming Jr., starts ragging on Matt Bellany, who did the initial leak. And he's like, oh, you know, I thought I'd seen it all. There's piranha frenzy on Kathleen Kennedy. Loads of people reporting on it. Bellany's, you know, for years, he's been beating on Kennedy like she owes him money. This week he reported that she's retiring. It's like, okay. What else does he say? The trades followed with gusto. Kennedy's being pushed out. The reality's different. But it's not, though, actually. No one said she's being pushed out. People were just like, yeah, she's retiring. According to insiders, Kennedy's been working on a succession plan for a couple of years. So that makes sense why people are thinking that she's going then, isn't it? Obviously. Eyeing candidates from within. So there's all of this, right? And then he starts like shoving his tongue up her bumhole. It's like, Kennedy would seem an unlikely target for hiring. Good times or bad, 13 years into her run steering Lucasfilm, she's done much with the challenge of trying to broaden George Lucas's Star Wars vision after Disney bought it. Kennedy arguably is the most successful female producer executive in Hollywood. She's dog shit. She ran Star Wars into the ground. She has produced more than 70 films that have collected 120 Oscar noms. I don't care. She ran the most profitable franchise into the dirt. And she herself was awarded the honorary Oscar with the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award with 8 other Oscar noms. Her resume is dotted with classics. Sorry, are we pretending that producers always do stuff and they always have creative say? Is that what we're doing now, Deadline? You cuck. And he literally goes, sorry, Matt. The woman is a first ballot Hall of Famer, not someone who deserves to be battered around like a piñata. She also deserves her own narrative. Well, one, she's not first class. She's not a Hall of Famer Hall of Shamer, not a Hall of Famer, though. Anyway, so she discusses it with Deadline, right? And this is what everyone's saying. It's been debunked. It's not been debunked. Again, I've shown you the end of the article where she literally says, I don't know if I'm retiring from Lucasfilm this year. So we've read all these speculative reports that are out. that there's a frenzy for the next person who's going to take over Lucasfilm. What is the truth? And here she says, the truth is, and I want to just say loud and clear, I'm not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That doesn't mean Lucasfilm. Also, that's a weird hill to die on, mate, because you're shit at making films. That is the first thing that's important to say. I'm not retiring from making movies. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I've been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. We have an amazing bench of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. Months down the road or a year down the road. So that still sounds an awful lot like Matt Bellany's rumour is legit, doesn't it? We've got every intention of making an announcement months down the road or a year. So what? It's only February. It's only February, mate. If he was like, oh, she's going to be gone by the end of 2025 and she stayed for an extra 2 months, it's not exactly huge, is it? Jesus. This is madness. Anyway, so it says further, we're in lockstep as to what that's going to be, and I'm continuing. I'm producing the Mandalorian movie right now. I'm producing Sean Levi's movie, which is after that. So I'm continuing to stay at Lucasfilm and looking very thoughtfully with Bob and Alan as to who's stepping in. So that is all underway, and we have every right to make that announcement when we want to make it. Sounds awfully defensive. Also, anyone believing her straight up, right? Anyone believing anything that Disney says is pure retardation. You know, this is the company that has announced so many things that have just never come to fruition. Where's that Rian Johnson trilogy, guys? Like, there's so many things that they keep announcing that just doesn't happen. So no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe you. I'm not going to believe you. But when you're asked straight up and you don't deny that you're leaving this year, yeah, that's probably something to believe a little bit, obviously. But this sort of obfuscation bollocks, no, mate, you're full of crap. Anyway, you know, she's then asked about like Dave Filoni, you know, to sort of take over and things like that. Nothing crazy. This flurry of press coverage, it sounds like chaos. What's the reality? Chaos. There's never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is and we've been talking about it, as I said, non-stop for the last couple of years. Because for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be here forever. George asked me 13 years ago to step in, and now I'm looking at who's going to replace me. So all the rumours about her retiring and quitting still is, there was elements of truth behind it. As I said, we have a bench of people internally to handle the business, the creative side. The job has grown since I stepped in. There's no streaming. There weren't a lot of things that were involved right now. So it has grown. How far down the road do you expect before a change gets made and then you go off and produce these two big Star Wars things? So we'll probably make an announcement months or a year out, and I have every intention of sticking around to help that person be successful. I'm already producing The Mandalorian, and the Sean Levi's is after that. So again, remember, we have every right to make that announcement when we want to make it. You know, we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the road. So literally just months down the road could be. That actually corroborates what she said here. You know, we'll make an announcement months or a year out. So it could be months that it's going to be announced. I recall these same retirement predictions were rendered a while ago and you re-upped and here you are. What do you make of this fixation on your job status? Because you're shit. Look at the staggering lack of self-awareness. I truly don't know. In any discussion previously about me retiring or quitting or any of those things, that's complete rumour mill, because through all these reports, I've just continued doing my job and continuing to my contract, nothing unusual. It all has just been manufactured. But it hasn't, because you've been talking about leaving. So, no, it's actually not manufactured. You've been talking about leaving. People get wind of that. They pass it on. Obviously. This actually adds more fuel to the fire. They say this about the connotation is you're being pushed aside, in need of being replaced, though that's not what I've heard. It's absolutely not the case. It could not be further from the truth, and everything that we do inside Lucasfilm is in lockstep in communication with Disney. We all know what's going on. The communication has been completely collaborative, as you would expect. This is a big piece of business for them, and they want to empower me to help them make the decision and that choice. I'm doing that. Again, it's still very much a case of, yeah, like, we're looking for someone to replace me. That's what they're saying here. And then they just start talking about some other nonsense I'm not really interested in. It's not relevant. This is literally not relevant at all. You know, start talking about other movies and things. Like they're like, oh, you know, I broke a piece of news last fall about Simon Kinberg making a deal to write and produce a Star Wars trilogy. How's that going? We're absolutely rolling fast and furiously. That's gone exceptionally well, and he's literally going to script as we speak. We'll see something probably around June. Simon, if you remember, he did some work with us a year ago with the animated show, which was a really wonderful collaboration. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. And then they start talking about Sean Levi, and then Taika Waititi. Where was that one? They're talking about like Taika Waititi's movie, and she's like blowing smoke up his ass. Where is it? Yeah, here. Any others that I've forgotten? Yeah, so just start talking about the other movies. Again, they're waiting on a script from that, so that's still... I mean, where's that been going? That's just disastrous. And they're like, oh, I remember seeing Thor Ragnarok. Oh, that's exactly the kind of movie we want in Star Wars, apparently. There you go, guys. That's Thor Ragnarok in Star Wars. That's what you want, right? Anyway, so it says this. So even when you hand the reins to the Lucasfilm protege, it sounds like you're going to be in that world for 8 or 10 years. Fair? I don't know if I'm going to say that, but yeah, it's possible. So again, still, yeah, you can see, not complete debunking. Literally, none of this is complete debunking. None of this. None of this at all. And then we get to the end part, right? 2 final questions. Will you step out as Lucasfilm boss this year? We really don't know at this stage. There's so much going on, I don't know. When it happens, who'll make the decision? Me, it's my decision. This is 100% my decision. Right. This is a whole lot of waffle to say, don't believe those rumours yet. Basically. Deadline. You started your article so combative. But in your own interview with her, she says she doesn't know if she's leaving this year. And they might be giving an announcement months down literally in a few months. Oh my god. What do you think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.